Well, tell me what kind of information you started being able to get and how long you were doing this.
I started sort of dabbling with this maybe a couple years ago. There's people have written software. There are free programs you can get, run it on your computer, and you get kind of a virtual radar screen. So you see nearby airplanes. This can probably pick up usually within about 100 miles, occasionally further than that. So you see all the aircraft within that range, where they are, how fast they're going, what kind of aircraft they are. There's a unique identifier that they all broadcast, and you can cross-reference that with FAA data, so you know who owns it, what kind of plane it is. People even compile like regular airline flights, so I can say this is going from LAX to Vegas, or whatever the flight plan says.
What kind of aircraft could you not pick up with that information?
Well, let's see. There's different aircraft send different amounts of data. Every aircraft pretty much is sending at least its altitude.
This sheet, this is one of your files that you created. Tell us what we're looking at.
So this is a list of maybe 30 aircraft that are being picked up.
Yeah.
And you can see on the left side there's this hex unique ID for the aircraft. You can see what they're squawking. So there's on the transponder, you can squawk a code.
Yes.
Usually air traffic control just says, they instruct you what to squawk. It helps them keep track of you on their screens. But there are some other things, other subtleties about the squawk codes that come up later. You can see, flight numbers. Sometimes it's a registration number.
Yep.
Like the one on the top of the list, you can see the flight number is N662PD. A lot of the police department aircraft, so that's a LAPD helicopter. A lot of the
at 1,000 feet.
Right, altitude 1,000 feet. That one doesn't have speed, heading, or position. But some of the others, you can see how fast they're going, which direction they're traveling, and their GPS coordinates.
At that point in time?
Yeah, that instant.
Okay. So you're getting a lot of information here.
Yeah.
So you start collating that. Now, I guess you threw it into a spreadsheet or something. How did you, when you start getting all this information into your computer, how did you start kind of correlating it into something that you knew what to do with?
Yeah, that was kind of the key to really seeing any patterns, was creating a historical archive.
Yes.
Because I would look at this occasion and I'd say, well, I feel like I see N662 PD all the time, or other specific planes, but I didn't have like the historic record to examine. So I started putting it all into a database, just like a free database running on Linux, Postgres. And once I did that, I did it for a few months, and even at that point, even after just a few days, I was able to say, wow, I see this plane every other day, or I see this plane, once a week. Yeah. So I was able to start seeing patterns more easily.
Now this is a map that I saw in your paper. Now this is 2 weeks of transponder pings.
Right.
Okay, this is the Los Angeles basin. Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, Santa Monica's over there, Monterey Park, Montebello, all this. Now, is that LAX at the bottom, I guess? Okay, so these green lines, what does this mean?
Those are different flight paths. I think, there's a couple green lines going east-west from LAX. I think those are, the landing approaches. And you can see takeoffs to the west, and they're not quite as straight because they kind of take off and turn right away.
And then every single green point is?
Every single green point is a transponder ping that contains position. There's a lot more than this. If you zoom in, you can zoom in infinitely far almost, and what making this map showed me is like, it doesn't just seem like there's always a helicopter or a plane overhead. There really is. Like every square foot of the city almost.
You said you had 5 million transponder pings in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and those are just the ones that have position. Right now, maybe a third of aircraft are broadcasting their position. So there's a lot more aircraft up there than this map shows.